Hello from Nanook Lodge. It's time for an appetizer. And we're going to use ground beef and some pie crusts and a variety of other fillings to make some empanadas. Empanadas are a Latin thing. The word empanar means to coat with bread in Spanish, so you see there's a lot of places where Spanish is spoken in Latin America, Spain, sometimes the Philippines. But really a little pocket of dough filled with just about anything. Meat, could be beef, could be pork, could be vegetarian. It can be an empanada. There's lots of different styles across the world, but I like to make these as appetizers because they're great little, turn out to be little mini like hand pies that are just super easy to eat with your fingers. Here's everything that I'm going to use today to make empanadas. We're going to start with the ground beef, and we're going to cook that with a little bit of the garlic and the onion. We're going to put in some of the diced green chili. We'll probably won't use the whole can, use about half the can. You can use a fresh green chili or a jalapeno if you want it spicier. We're also going to put in a little tomato just to give it a little bit of sort of that background sweetness. We're going to chop some green olives, which are going to bring in some brininess, as well as the capers, a little pickly. And then we're going to put in some golden raisins and chop those up, and that'll bring in just this little sweetness that balances everything and pulls it all together. Salt and pepper, finish it off, and we'll put it in the pie crusts. All our prep is here. We've got the ground beef, I've got a little vegetable oil with salt and pepper. We're going to cook the onion and the garlic. I've got the tomatoes. I chopped up the capers just roughly. They're pretty small, so they're a little hard to chop, but I chopped them up a little bit. The green chilies, I just took the diced green chilies right from the can. It's about half a can. I've got some golden raisins here, and I like to use golden for two reasons. One, I think the color goes better inside of all this. I don't get those big dark blobs that you do with a typical raisin, and I think they're a little bit sweeter, so they balance out the brininess of some of the things in here. And then I've got my green olives that are all chopped up. I'm using a Castro Vetrano olive, which is a little bit lighter in flavor, but it brings a real rich butteriness to the whole thing. And then I've beaten my eggs so we can brush the tops of the empanadas before we put them in the oven. And my trusty Pillsbury pie crusts. You can make your own pie crusts if you prefer, but I find this just super simple and easy, and it makes a great empanada. All right, there's our filling. I've cooked it for about 5 minutes more, just till the tomatoes start to break down a little bit. And then give some of their liquid to all of that and tie it all together. I gave it a taste. I actually went back and added the rest of the can of green chilies to this because I wanted just a little bit more punch to that. We're gonna let it cool from here till we can handle it with our hands, and then we'll show you how to stuff them all. Alternately, you could pick it up like that, crimp the edges, and then put your fork through. Empanadas are out of the oven. They look great. Sometimes you'll get one like this where it pops open just a little bit, and that's okay. Might have a little edge there too, but ooh, they're hot. They'll eat great. So use your imagination, use this recipe as a guide, and fill your empanadas with all sorts of delicious things. Thanks for tuning in to Cooking at 9 o'clock.